Welcome back, boys and girls. It's been a little while. I had to take a little bit of a break for a couple days. I guess it wasn't 5 days. 5 days off of my normal routine. Only 1 day or 2 days off of streaming. But yeah, because I'm trying to start this streaming program, and I'm also trying to spin up a small startup. And I'm interviewing for jobs. I started getting interviews. So all those things on top of each other, it was just too much, and I couldn't... I kept taking stimulants to try and keep up, and then I kind of got overloaded on the stimulants, so I had to skip those for a little while, but we are now back, and we are at full power. We are fully activated. However... Now, I'm going to try something just a little bit different today, just to start us off. I don't know if this will continue to be a regular thing, but just for today, I want to do something a little bit different. Let me pull up... Okay. I need to... like so. Uh-huh. I'd like to read some articles off for you. Before we will be playing XCOM Files, but I want to just, given, events in the world, especially what happened last Monday, I think a little bit of reading and thinking might be appropriate for our stream. And you'll see, you'll get probably get why I'm reading this at this time after a little bit. Welcome back, Missed One. If you missed what I just said, I'm going to be reading 2 articles before we start XCOM Files. We are doing XCOM Files, but I just want to read these real quick. They're kind of relevant to things that are happening in the world. The categories
I was listening.
Okay, excellent. The categories were made for man, not man for the categories. Well, it was very annoying for me to explain it twice then, wasn't I? Okay, just read it. Quit talking about how you're gonna read it, and read it. Silliest Internet Atheist Argument is a hotly contested title, but I have a special place in my heart.
Glad you didn't die because of XCOM Files, lol.
Yeah, but I have a special place in my heart for the people who occasionally try biblical fallibility by pointing out that whales are not a type of fish. This is going to end up being a metaphor for something, so bear with me. The argument goes like this. Jonah got swallowed by a whale, but the Bible says Jonah got swallowed by a big fish. So the Bible seems to think whales are just big fish. Therefore, the Bible is fallible. Therefore, the Bible was not written by God. The first problem here is that whale is just our own modern interpretation of the Bible. For all we know, Jonah was swallowed by a really, really, really big herring. The second problem is that if ancient Hebrews want to call whales a kind of fish, let them call whales a kind of fish. I'm not making the weak and boring claim that since they'd never discovered genetics, they don't know better. I am making this much stronger claim that, even if the ancient Hebrews had taken enough of a break from murdering Philistines and building tabernacles to sequence the genomes of all known species of aquatic animals, there's nothing whatsoever wrong, false, or incorrect with them calling a whale a fish. Now, there's something wrong with saying whales are phylogenetically just as closely related to bass, herring, and salmon as these three are related to each other. What's wrong with the statement is that it's false, but saying whales are a kind of fish isn't. Suppose you travel back in time to ancient Israel to try and explain to King Solomon that whales are a kind of mammal and not a kind of fish. Your translator isn't very good, so you pause to explain fish and mammal to Solomon. You tell him that fish is the sort of thing herring, bass, and salmon are, and mammal is the sort of thing cows, sheep, and pigs are. Solomon tells you that your word fish is Hebrew dag, and your word mammal is Hebrew behemah. So you try again and say that a whale is a behemah, not a dag. Solomon laughs at you and says you're an idiot. You explain that you're not an idiot, that in fact all kinds of animals have things called genes, and the genes of a whale are much closer to those of other behemah than those of the dag. Solomon says he's never heard of these gene things before, and that maybe genetics is involved in your weird foreign words fish and mammal, but dag are just finned creatures that swim in the sea, and behema are just legged creatures that walk on the earth. You try to explain that no, Solomon is wrong. Dag are actually defined not by their swimming in sea with finsness, but by their genes. Solomon says that you didn't even know the word dag 10 minutes ago, and now suddenly you think you know what it means better than he does, who has been using it his entire life. Who died and made you an expert on biblical Hebrew? You try to explain that whales actually have tiny little hairs, too small to even see, just as cows and sheep and pigs have hair. Solomon says, "Oh God, you are so annoying. Who the hell cares whether whales have tiny little hairs or not?" In fact, the only thing Solomon cares about is whether responsibilities for his kingdom's production of blubber and whale oil, should go under his ministry of Dag or ministry of Behema. The ministry of Dag is based on the coast and has a lot of people who work on ships. The ministry of Behema has a strong presence inland and lots of people who hunt on horseback. So please, he continues, keep going on about how whales have tiny little hairs. It's easy to see that Solomon has a point, and if he wants to define Behema as four-legged land dwellers, that's his right, and no better or worse than your definition of creatures in a certain part of the phylogenetic tree. Indeed, it might even be that if you spent 10 years teaching Solomon all about the theory of genetics and evolution, which would be hilarious, think how annoyed the creationists would get. He might still say, "That's very interesting, and I can see why we need a word to describe creatures closely related along the phylogenetic tree, but make up your own word, because Behema already means four-legged land dweller." Now imagine that instead of talking to King Solomon, you're talking to that guy from Duck Dynasty with the really crazy beard. I realize that may describe more than one person, who stands in for all uneducated rednecks in the same way King Solomon stands in for all biblical Hebrews. "Of course, a whale's a fish, you moron," he says in his heavy southern accent. No, it isn't. A fish is a creature phylogenetically related to various other fish, and with certain defining anatomical features. It says so right here in this biology textbook. "Well," Crazy Beard Guy tells you, "I reckon that might be what a fish is, but a fish is something that swims in the ocean." With a sinking feeling in your stomach, you spend 10 years turning Crazy Beard Guy into a world expert on phylogenetics and evolutionary theory. Although the Duck Dynasty show becomes much more interesting, you fail to budge him a bit on the meaning of fish. It's easy to see here that fish and fish can be different just as fish and dag can be different. You can point out how many important professors of ichthyology in fancy suits You notice how I can't pronounce important, but I can pronounce ichthyology? In fancy suits, use your definition, and how only a couple of people with really weird facial hair use his. But now you're making a status argument, not a factual argument. Your argument is, conform to the way all the cool people use the word fish, not a whale is truly and really not a fish. There are facts of the matter on each individual point, whether a whale has fins, whether a whale lives in the ocean, whether a whale has tiny hairs, etc. But there is no fact of the matter on whether a whale is a fish. The argument is entirely semantic. So this is the second reason why this particular objection to the Bible is silly. If God wants to call a whale a big fish, stop telling God what to do. When terms are not directly defined by God, we need our own methods of dividing them into categories. Less Wrong Classic, How an Algorithm Feels from the Inside, starts with a discussion of whether or not Pluto is a planet. Planets tend to share many characteristics in common. For example, they are large, round, have normal-shaped orbits lined up with the plane of the ecliptic, have cleared out a certain area of space, and are at least kind of close to the sun, as opposed to way out in the Oort cloud. One could imagine a brain that thought about these characteristics like Network 1 here. Here's Network 1. You'll notice it has this topology where all nodes are connected to each other. And you have Network 2 here, where there's a central category, and all the traits that go along with that category go along with the central category instead of going along with each other. One could imagine this model telling you everything you need to know. If an object is larger, it's more likely to be round and in cis-Neptunian space. If an object has failed to clear its orbit of debris, it's more likely to have a skewed orbit relative to the plane of the ecliptic. We could give each of these connections a weight and say things like large objects have a 32% chance of being in cis-Neptunian space and small objects has an 86% chance, or whatever. But Network 1 has some big problems. For one thing, if you inscribe it in blood, you might accidentally summon the devil. But for another, it's computationally very complicated. Each attribute affects each other attribute, which affects it in turn, and so on in an infinite cycle, so that its behavior tends to be chaotic and unpredictable. What people actually seem to do is more like Network 2. Sweep all common correlations into one big category in the middle, thus dividing possibility space into large, round, normal orbit solitary inner objects, and small, irregular, skewed orbit crowded outer objects. It calls the first category planets and the second category planetoids. You can then sweep minor irregularities under the rug. Neptune is pretty far from the Sun, but since it's large, round, normal orbit, and solitary, we know which way the evidence is leaning. When an object satisfies about half the criteria for planet and half the criteria for planetoid, then it's awkward. Pluto is the classic example. It's relatively large, round, skewed orbit, solitary-ish, and outer-ish. What do you do? The practical answer is you convene some very expensive meeting of prestigious astronomers and come to some official decision, which everyone agrees to follow, so they're all on the same page. But the ideal answer is that you say, the assumption encoded in the word planet that the 5 red criteria always went together and the 5 blue criteria always went together doesn't hold. Well, whatever. Then you divide the solar system into 3 types of objects: planets, planetoids, and damn it, our categorization scheme wasn't as good as we thought. The situation with whales and fish is properly understood in the same context. Fish and mammals differ on a lot of axes. Fish generally live in the water, breathe through gills, have tails and fins, possess a certain hydrodynamic shape, lay eggs, and are in a certain part of the phylogenetic tree. Mammals generally live on land, breathe through lungs, have legs, give live birth, and are in another part of the phylogenetic tree. Most fish conform to all of the fish desiderata. Is that how you pronounce that? Desiderata? Desiderata? Things desired. Desiderata. Desiderata? I'm going to say desiderata. And most mammals conform to all of the mammal desiderata. So there's no question of how to categorize them. Occasionally you get something weird, a platypus, a lungfish, or a whale, and it's a judgment call whether or not you have to decide by fiat. In our case, that fiat is use genetics and ignore all other characteristics, but some other language, culture, or scientific community might make a different fiat, and then the borders between the categories would look a little bit different. Okay. So we're going to take just a little break. Now, I want you to think, what is his motivation for making this argument? Because you might be surprised where this is going. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Okay, I lost my place now. Oh no. Oh, here we go. Since I shifted to a borders metaphor, let's follow that and see where it goes. Imagine that Israel and Palestine agree to a 2-state solution with the final boundary to be drawn by the United Nations. You're the head of the United Nations committee involved, so you get out a map and a pencil, and both sides swear to follow whatever you determine. Your job is not to draw the correct border. There is no one correct border between Israel and Palestine. There are a couple very strong candidates, for example, the pre-1967 line of control, but both countries have suggested deviations from that. Most people think an actual solution would involve Palestine giving up some territory that has since been thoroughly settled by Israel in exchange for some territory within Israel proper, or perhaps for a continuous land bridge between the West Bank and Gaza. Even if you wanted to use the pre-1967 line as a starting point, there would still be a lot of work to do deciding what land swaps should and shouldn't be made. Instead, you would be making a series of trade-offs. Giving all of Jerusalem to the Israelis would make them very happy but anger Palestine. Creating a contiguous corridor between Gaza and the West Bank makes some sense, but then you'd be cutting off Eilat from the rest of Israel. Or Eilat from the rest of Israel. Giving all of the Israeli settlements in the West Bank back to Palestine would satisfy a certain conception of property rights, but also leave a lot of Jews homeless. There are also much stupider decisions you could make. You could give Tel Aviv to Palestine. You could make the Palestinian state a perfect circle, 5 miles in radius, centered on Rishon LeZion. You could just split the territory in half with a straight line and give Israel the north and Palestine the south. All of these things would be really dumb. But crucially, they would not be false. They would not be factually incorrect. They would just be failing to achieve pretty much any of the goals that we would expect a person solving land disputes in the Middle East to have. You can think of alternative arrangements in which these wouldn't be dumb. For example, if you're a despot, and you want to make it very clear to both the Israelis and Palestinians that their opinions don't matter and they should stop bothering you with annoying requests for arbitration, maybe splitting the country in half north to south is the way to go. And real borders are, in fact, very weird. The border between Turkey and Syria follows a mostly straightish line nearish the 36th parallel, except that about 20 miles south of the border, Turkey controls a couple of square meters in the middle of a Syrian village. This is the tomb of the ancestor of the Ottoman Turks, and Turkey's border agreement with Syria stipulates that it will remain part of Turkey forever. And the Turks take this very seriously. They maintain a platoon of special forces there and have recently been threatening war against Syria if their territory gets invaded in the current conflict. Picture Turkey, inside fence, Syria, outside. The border between Bangladesh and India is complicated at the best of times, but it becomes absolutely ridiculous in a place called Cooch Behar, which I guess is as good a name as any for a place full of ridiculous things. In at least one spot, there is an island of Indian territory within a larger island of Bangladeshi territory, within a larger island of Indian territory within Bangladesh, according to mentalfloss.com. So why'd the border get drawn like that? It can all be traced back to power struggles between local kings hundreds of years ago, who would try to claim pockets of land inside each other's territories as a way to leverage political power. When Bangladesh became independent from India in 1947 as East Pakistan until 1971, all these separate pockets of land were divvied up, hence the polka-dotted mess. You can see the mentioned polka-dotted mess. Namibia is a very weird-looking country with a very thin 300-mile-long panhandle, e.g. about twice as long as Oklahoma's. Apparently, during the scramble for Africa, the Germans who colonized Namibia really wanted access to the Zambezi River so they could reach the Indian Ocean and trade their colonial resources. They kept pestering the British who colonized Botswana until the Brits finally agreed to give up a tiny but very long strip of territory ending at the riverbank. This turned out to be not so useful, as just after Namibia's Zambezi access sits Victoria Falls, the largest waterfall in the world, meaning that any Germans who tried to traverse the Zambezi to reach the Indian Ocean would last a matter of minutes before suddenly encountering a 400-foot drop and falling to pretty much certain death. The moral of the story is not to pester the British Empire too much, especially if they've explored Africa and you haven't. But the other moral of the story is that borders are weird. Although we think of borders as nice straight lines that separate people of different cultures, they can form giant panhandles, distant islands and enclaves within enclaves within enclaves. They can depart from their usual course to pay honor to national founders, to preserve records of ancient conquests, or to connect trade routes. Hume's ethics restrict bad to an instrumental criticism. You can condemn something as a bad way to achieve a certain goal, but not as morally bad, independent of what the goal is. In the same way, borders can be bad at fulfilling your goals and drawing them, but not bad in an absolute sense or factually incorrect. Namibia's border is bad from the perspective of Germans who want to access the Indian Ocean, but it's excellent from the perspective of Englishmen who want to watch Germans plummet into the lower Zambezi and get eaten by hippos. Breaking out of the metaphor, the same is true of conceptual boundaries. You may draw the boundaries of the category fish any way you want. A category fish containing herring, dragonflies, and asteroids is going to be stupid, but only in the same sense that a Palestinian state centered around Tel Aviv would be stupid. It fails to fulfill any conceivable goals of the person designing it. Categories fish that do or don't include whales may be appropriate for different people's purposes, the same way Palestinians might argue about whether the borders of their state should be optimized for military defensibility or for religious or cultural significance. Statements like, the Zambezi River is full of angry hippos, are brute facts. Statements like, the Zambezi River is the territory of Namibia, are negotiable. In the same way, statements like, whales have little hairs, are brute facts. Statements like, whales are not a kind of fish, are negotiable. So it's important to keep these two sorts of statements separate, and remember that in no case can an agreed upon set of borders or a category boundary be factually incorrect. Now, I may have spoiled it by the bottom of the screen, but have you guessed why he's making this argument at this point? Because now we're going to get into, you know, I think I underestimate. Okay, it's not that long. Okay, we will be getting to the game, I promise. Now I have to find my place. Oh, crud. Okay. There is an okay, also, you should bear in mind this was written for context in 2014. So about, pretty close to exactly 10 years ago, which is why I'm reading it now. There is an anti-transgender argument that I take very seriously. The argument goes, we are rationalists. Our entire shtick is trying to believe what is actually true, not on what we wish were true, or what our culture tells us is true, or what is popular to say is true. If a man thinks he's a woman, then we might, emphatically, wish he were a woman. Other people might demand we call him a woman, and we might be much more popular if we say he's a woman. But if we're going to be rationalists who focus on believing what's actually true, then we've got to call him a man and take the consequences. Thus, Abraham Lincoln's famous riddle: if you call a tail a leg, how many legs does a dog have? And the answer, 4, because a tail isn't a leg, regardless of what you call it. If John Wilkes Booth had to suffer through that riddle, then I don't blame him. I take this argument seriously because sticking to the truth really is important. But having taken it seriously, I think it's seriously wrong. An alternative categorization system is not an error, and borders are not objectively true or false. Just as we can come up with criteria for a definition of planet, we can come up with a definition of man. Absolutely typical men have Y chromosomes, have male genitalia, appreciate manly things like sports and lumberjackery, are romantically attracted to women, personally identify as male, wear male clothing like blue jeans, sing baritone in the opera, etc. Some people satisfy some criteria of manhood and not others, in much the same way that Pluto satisfies only some criteria of planethood, and whales satisfy only some criteria of mammalhood. For example, gay men might date other men and behave in effeminate ways. People with congenital androgen insensitivity syndrome might have female bodies, female external genitalia, and have been raised female their entire life. But when you look into their cells, they have Y chromosomes. Biologists define by fiat that in cases of ambiguous animal grouping like whales, phylogenetics will be the tiebreaker. This was useful to resolve ambiguity, and it's worth sticking to as a Schelling point so everyone's using their words the same way. But it is kind of arbitrary and mostly based on biologists caring a lot about phylogenetics. If we let King Solomon make the decision, he might decide by fiat that whether animals lived in land or water would be the tiebreaker, since he's more interested in whether the animal is hunted on horseback or by boat. Likewise, astronomers decided by fiat that something would be a planet if, and only if, it meets the 3 criteria of orbiting, round, and orbit clearing. But here we have a pretty neat window into how these kinds of decisions take place. You can read the history of the International Astronomical Union meeting, where they settled on the definition and learn all about the alternative proposals that were floated and rejected, and which particular politics resulted in the present criteria being selected among all the different possibilities. Here it is obvious that the decision was by fiat. Without the input of any prestigious astronomers at all, most people seem to assume that the ultimate tiebreaker in man versus woman questions is presence of a Y chromosome. I'm not sure this is a very principled decision because I expect most people would classify congenital androgen insensitivity patients, XY people whose bodies are insensitive to the hormone that makes them look male, and so end up looking 100% female their entire lives and often not even knowing they have the condition, as women. The project of the transgender movement is to propose a switch from using chromosomes as the tiebreaker to using self-identification as a tiebreaker. This isn't actually the whole story. Some of the more sophisticated people want to split sex and gender so that the people who want to talk about what chromosomes they've got have a categorization system to do that with, and a few people even want to split chromosomal sex and anatomical sex and gender and goodness knows what else, and I support all of these as very important examples of the virtue of precision. But to a first approximation, they want to define gender as self-identification. This is not something that can be true or false. It's a boundary redrawing project. It can make for some boundaries that look a little bit weird, like a small percent of men being able to get pregnant. But as far as weird boundaries go, that's probably not as bad as having a tiny exclave of Turkish territory in the middle of a Syrian village. You draw category boundaries in specific ways to capture trade-offs you care about. If you care about the sanctity of the tomb of your country's founder, sometimes it's worth having a slightly weird-looking boundary in order to protect and honor it. And if you care about... I'm writing this post today because I just finished accepting a transgender man to the mental hospital. He alternates between trying to kill himself and trying to cut off various parts of his body because he's so distressed that he is biologically female. We've connected him with some endocrinologists who can hopefully get him started on male hormones, after which maybe he'll stop doing that and hopefully be able to lead a normal life. If I'm willing to accept an unexpected chunk of Turkey deep inside Syrian territory to honor some random dead guy, and I better, or else a platoon of Turkish special forces will want to have a word with me, then I ought to accept an unexpected man or two deep inside the conceptual boundaries of what would normally be considered female if it'll save someone's life. There's no rule of rationality saying that I shouldn't, and there are plenty of rules of human decency saying that I should. I've made this argument before and gotten a reply something like this. Transgender is a psychiatric disorder. When people have psychiatric disorders, certainly it's right to sympathize and feel sorry for them and want to help them. But the way we try to help them is by treating their disorder, not by indulging them in their delusion. I think these people expect me to argue that transgender isn't really a psychiatric disorder or something. But psychiatric disorder is just another category boundary dispute, and one that I've already written enough about elsewhere. At this point, I don't care enough to say much more than, if it's a psychiatric disorder, then attempts to help transgender people get covered by health insurance, and most of the transgender people I know seem to want that, so sure, gender dysphoria is a psychiatric disorder. And then I think of the hairdryer incident. Give me a second to take a sip of water. The hairdryer incident was probably the biggest dispute I've ever seen in the mental hospital where I work. Most of the time, all the psychiatrists get along and have pretty much the same opinion about important things, but people were at each other's throats about the hairdryer incident. Basically, this one obsessive-compulsive woman would drive to work every morning and worry that she had left the hairdryer on that was going to burn down her house. So she'd drive back home to check that the hairdryer was off, then drive back to work, then worry that maybe she hadn't really checked well enough, then drive back, and so on 10 or 20 times a day. It's a pretty typical case of obsessive-compulsive disorder, but it was really interfering with her life. She worked some high-powered job, I think a lawyer, and she was constantly late to everything because of this driving back and forth, to the point where her career was in a downspin and she thought she would have to quit and go on disability. She wasn't able to go out with friends. She wasn't even able to go out to restaurants because she would keep fretting she left the hairdryer on at home and have to rush back. She'd seen countless psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors. She'd done all sorts of therapy. She'd taken every medication in the book, and none of them had helped. So she came to my hospital and was seen by a colleague of mine who told her, "Hey, have you thought about just bringing the hairdryer with you?" And it worked. She would be driving to work in the morning, and she'd start worrying that she'd left the hairdryer on. It was going to burn down her house. And so she'd look at the seat next to her, and there would be the hairdryer right there. And she only had the one hairdryer, which was now accounted for, so she would let out a sigh of relief and keep driving to work. And approximately half the psychiatrists at my hospital thought this was absolutely scandalous, and this is not how one treats obsessive-compulsive disorder. And what if it got out to the broader psychiatric community that instead of giving all these high-tech medications and sophisticated therapies, we were just telling people to put their hair dryers on the front seat of their car? But I think the guy deserved a medal. Here's someone who is totally untreatable by the normal methods with a debilitating condition, and a drop-dead simple intervention that no one else had thought of gave her her life back. If one day I open my own psychiatric practice, I am half seriously considering using a picture of a hairdryer as the logo, just to let everyone know where I stand on this issue. Miyamoto Musashi is quoted as saying, "The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy, whatever the means. Whether you parry, hit, spring, strike, or touch the enemy's cutting sword, you must cut the enemy in the same movement. It is essential to attain this. If you think only of hitting, springing, striking, or touching an enemy, you will not be able to actually cut him." Likewise, the primary thing in psychiatry is to help the patient, whatever the means. Someone can concern troll that the hairdryer technique leaves something to be desired, and that it might have prevented the patient from seeking a more thorough cure that would prevent her from having to bring the hairdryer with her. But compared to the alternative of nothing else works, it seems clearly superior. And that's the position from which I think a psychiatrist should approach gender dysphoria too. Imagine if we could give depressed people a much higher quality of life merely by giving them cheap natural hormones. I don't think there's a psychiatrist in the world who wouldn't celebrate that as one of the biggest mental health advances in a generation. Imagine if we could ameliorate schizophrenia with one safe, simple surgery. Just snip, snip, you're not schizophrenic anymore. Pretty sure that would win all of the Nobel Prizes. Imagine that we could make a serious dent in bipolar disorder just by calling people different pronouns. I'm pretty sure the entire mental health field would join together in bludgeoning anybody who refused to do that. We would bludgeon them over the head with big books about the side effects of lithium. Really, are you sure you want your opposition to accepting transgender people to be, "I think it's a medical disorder"? Some people can't leave well enough alone and continue to push the mental disorder angle. For example, I'm not going to read all this. He's talking about, it's a 4chan post about a guy, "Oh, if you think you're Napoleon, we should all pretend you're Napoleon to be nice." But that's dumb. That's the point he's making. There are a lot of things I could say here. I could point out that trans-Napoleonism seems to be mysteriously less common than transgender. I could relate this mysterious difference to the various heavily researched apparent biological correlates of transgender, including unusual variants of the androgen receptor, birth-sex discordant sizes of various brain regions, birth-sex discordant responses to various pheromones, high rates of something seemingly like body integrity disorder, and of course our old friend altered digit ratios. If our hypothetical trans-Napoleon came out of the womb wearing a French military uniform and clutching a list of 19th century Grand Army positions in his cute little baby hands, I think I'd take him more seriously. I could argue that questions about gender are questions about category boundaries, whereas questions about Napoleon, absent some kind of philosophical legwork that I would very much like to read, are questions of fact. I could point out that if the extent of someone's trans-Napoleonness was wanting to wear a bicorn hat, and he was going to be suicidal his entire life if he couldn't, but pretty happy if I could, let him wear the damn hat. If I could just link people to other sites, pretty good objections to the same argument. But I think exactly what I want to say is that there was once a time someone tried pretty much exactly this, silly hat and all. Society shrugged and played along. He led a rich and fulfilling life. His grateful imperial subjects came to love him, and it's one of the most heartwarming episodes in the history of one of my favorite places in the world. Sometimes when you make a little effort to be nice to people, even people you might think are weird, really good things happen. And this is talking about Emperor Norton, who is a guy who went around, I think in New York, saying that he was Napoleon. Oh, no, it's London. Okay, I gotta manage my tabs carefully because there's a picture in the other article that Twitch would not like me showing. I've been told some people are misinterpreting this post as you can define words any way you want, don't worry about it. Well, nothing is stopping you from defining a word any way you want. You should definitely worry about it. I had hoped that the Israel-Palestine example made it clear that you have to deal with the consequences of your definitions, which can include confusion, muddling communication, yeah, my communication's pretty muddled, and leaving openings for deceptive rhetorical strategies. In most cases, plausible definitions will be limited to a few possibilities suggested by the territory, with worsening penalties as you deviate from these further. Okay, that was the first article. Now remember, this was a very influential article, and this article was a big influence on my thinking on this topic. But that was 10 years ago. And in those 10 years, we have started actually implementing the ideas laid out herein. And the second article addresses that. So there's a picture of a naked lady in the second article, so I need to turn off the stream so I can block that out. Because Twitch does not like even very scientific and, what's the word? Educational pictures of naked ladies. Okay, the naked lady is gone. Our virtue is saved. This article came out today. Our story so far. During the first wave of discourse around transgender issues, Scott Alexander wrote an influential essay defending transgender to the rationalists. His argument, summarizing, was, existing classifications of people as men and women are not actually clear-cut when one considers them rigorously. We can and ought to use our latitude in how we establish categories for people's well-being, and using self-identification as our mechanism for categorizing gender is an easy win for human flourishing. It's been a little more than a decade since the Categories Were Made for Man was published, and for its decennial, in a very different world, I like to revisit its ideas in the light of our experiences in a society that broadly adopted its recommendations and policy. This is a long piece that I'm breaking into 2 posts. Here, okay, I'm going to skip the summary. The argument, restated. I agree almost entirely with 2014-era Scott's ontological premises, and I'll start by reviewing our areas of consensus as I understand them. Specifically, categories are not provided wholly formed by nature, but rather imposed by humans for human purposes, and biology at best inadequately maps onto what we generally think of as sex or gender, and can't provide a clean natural ontology. These claims don't establish the desirability of transgender in themselves, but they open the door to considering it, and form the most important part of Scott's argument. 1a. Nature rarely provides clean categories for all of man's purposes. The world was young, the mountains green. No stain yet on the moon was seen. No words were laid on stream or stone when Durin woke and walked alone. He named the nameless hills and dells. He drank from yet untasted wells. That was J.R.R. Tolkien. One of the oldest questions in philosophy, what is a man? When Plato attempted a plain solution, Diogenes demonstrated his error by presenting him with a plucked chicken. Later philosophers considered countless other solutions, yet a decisive and rigorous solution remains elusive. This is not a problem specific to gender. Let us revisit the exercise with which Scott opens his essay. Is a whale a fish? America's foremost cetologist, as measured by citation count, let me look at the footnote real quick, Melville, 1851, will tell you that yes, whales are fish. The certain unsettled condition of the science of cetology is in the very vestibule, attested by the fact that in some quarters it still remains a moot point whether a whale be fish. In his System of Nature, AD 1776, Linnaeus declares, "I hereby separate the whales from the fish." But of my own knowledge, I know that down to the year 1850, sharks and shad, alewives and herring, against Linnaeus's express edict, were still found dividing the possession of the same seas with the Leviathan. The grounds upon which Linnaeus would fain have banished the whales from the waters, he states as follows: on account of their worm bilocular heart, their lungs, their movable eyelids, their hollow ears, penem intrenum femininum, and finally, I submitted all this to my friends. The noise was Latin. I can't read Latin. I submitted all this to my friends Simeon Macy and Charlie Coffin of Nantucket, both messmates of mine in a certain voyage, and they united in the opinion that the reasons set forth were altogether insufficient. Charlie profanely hinted that they were humbug. Be it known that, waiving all argument, I take the good old-fashioned ground that the whale is a fish, and call upon holy Jonah to back me. The expert acknowledges the distinct features of whales from other fishes, per Linnaeus, but ultimately settles with a comfortable whaler's definition that, as it has fins and lives entirely in the ocean, it ought to be considered a fish. So shut up. Was he wrong to do so? A novice biologist might class a whale in the mammalian clade and end there, but in doing so he would arguably err, because fishes are, as commonly understood, do not comprise a monophyletic group. In fact, if we were to be scientistical about this, we would have to agree that a cladistically sophisticated definition of fishes necessarily includes not only whales, but dinosaurs, birds, and mankind. Yes, that is to say, trans women are fish. Excuse me for a sip of water. The basic issue is that in categorizing, we are imposing meaning on a nebulous reality, whose essence we don't directly get to observe, and that may not intrinsically have meaning. This slipperiness or arbitrariness of taxonomical schemes is most enjoyably established by Borgia, but it is a common theme of postmodern thought, and indeed even known to earlier men. For example, our modern-era American cetologist assures us that his efforts to impose an ontology requires heroic energy and judiciousness. Yet it is no easy task. The classifications of the constituents of a chaos, nothing less, is here essayed. Or, consulting the highest and oldest authority and reading between the lines just a bit, and out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam, to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And the rib, which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Nature does not tell us whether Pluto is a planet, nor whether blue and green are different colors, nor when nor how a child becomes an adult. It is for God to create, and it is upon us to determine what man and woman are for the purposes we choose. 1b. Biology is not sufficient to obtain a natural categorization of gender. From such crooked timber as humankind is made of, nothing entirely straight can be made. Immanuel Kant. Having argued for the general difficulty of establishing natural categories from base reality, we consider the failure of biology to produce clean and unambiguous sexes and genders. The problem we're going to encounter is that we won't be able to create a classification system that neatly divides all the biological features we associate with gender into two discrete categories. Skipping past some trivial examples, it's true that we can identify sex in some sense, or in most cases from chromosomal configurations, although this is not infallible. For example, per Scott, the presence of a Y chromosome isn't really adequate to identify a person as male. Most people seem to assume that the ultimate tiebreaker in man versus woman questions is the presence of a Y chromosome. I'm not sure this is we already read this. XY people whose bodies are insensitive to the hormone that makes them look male end up looking 100% female their entire lives and often not even knowing they have the condition. In complete cases of androgen insensitivity syndrome, an affected person will have female genitalia from birth on and develop adult female secondary sexual characteristics, lacking only menstruation and a uterus. They nevertheless have non-functional internal testes, although these are usually removed. Such a person might, in some generous sense, have a male sex, given that they're closer to producing sperm than eggs. But does this translate to gender? I don't know. Do you think these CAIS patients belong in a men's locker room? And due to the censorship rules of our platforms, I unfortunately had to cut out the illustration. It was a picture of a normal-looking naked woman, just utterly normal. You would never know that this person actually has a Y chromosome and CAIS. I assert that if the people in these photos lived before the 19th century, they would have been unambiguously, in your ancestral society or any other, classified as women, in spite of their secret XY karyotype. This is a problem for the notion that traditional understandings of gender seamlessly align with the fine grain of modern biology, and it leaves us in the position of having to make one of the following choices. Karyotype is not a sufficient criterion for determining gender, and we should choose different or additional criteria. Karyotype is a sufficient criterion, and the people in the above photograph are men. Gender is fake, actually. I'm not advocating for any of these choices particularly. The point is that no matter which path we take, we are making a choice. Gender is not writ in heaven. And this is just one central example of the fact that biology isn't clean and deterministic. Our wet works are convoluted, hacked together, bearing the mutational loads and kludges of our 4 billion years of evolution. Sex and sex roles are not a simple on-off switch. The route between having a Y chromosome and becoming male is modulated by plenty of additional biochemical and developmental stages, any of which might veer off path. It's unsurprising that many people might fall in gray areas or even be, in some sense, at war with themselves. Scott again. I could relate this mysterious difference to the various heavily researched apparent biological correlates of transgender, including unusual variants of the androgen receptor, birth-to-sex discordant sizes of various brain regions, birth-sex discordant responses to various pheromones, high rates of something seemingly like body integrity and identity disorder, and of course our old friend altered digit ratios. Excuse me, I have to snark. Looking for a natural ontology that meets your desired notion of gender in this chaos is a hopeless task. You won't be able to do it. You are going to have to choose, and in doing that, you surrender the premise that there is an unambiguous revealed order. Revisiting the 2014 conclusion that gender ought to be self-identified. I want to emphasize again that all we've done so far is to establish that we have leeway. Indeed, we are obligated, if we want any notion of gender at all, to establish, as humans, some criteria for classification by gender. This does not mean that we are hopeless or bereft of gender, because contrary to the extruded social theory product of our graduate schools, social constructs are extremely real, binding, and meaningful. If you don't believe that, try walking across the 2.5-mile social construct separating North and South Korea. It does mean that we have to choose the basis we use for determining gender, whatever that is, and implicitly, an objective or set of objectives that we hope to meet via our choice of gender. Scott's recommended solution to this problem was humanitarian and also clinical. Gender is to be determined by self-identification because it is a minor price to pay for the dignity and survival of people experiencing gender dysphoria. Reading back 10 years into the future, this feels sweet, really, nostalgic. A warm memory of what somehow were simpler times when it seemed like it would be easier to become good. In the background to writing of the categories, the True Scum Wars had been raging for long enough that academic papers about the conflict had been published. Transgender was no longer strictly about medical transsexualism, but an expression of identity. But the categories brushed aside this development to deal with the immediate issue. And he's quoting the original article again. We just read it, so I won't reread it. This elision was understandable, but fateful. In the coming years, gender identitarianism would combine with the implementation of self-identification as the sole determinant of gender to reveal some limitations of Scott's solution and reasoning that undergirded it. 1D, intermission. The rest of this essay proceeds as follows. In section 2, I will lay out 2 shortcomings of the world model presented in the categories, and touch on their implications for approaching transgender integration. This will conclude the current post. Later, in section 3, I'll discuss what options we have for grappling with transgender, given the opportunities and challenges identified in the previous section. In section 4, I'm going to yell at people for a little while. 2. Gender identity. Tractable. Although Scott makes a compelling case that gender is a case where we have some liberty to determine boundaries for the sake of human well-being, his subsequent deployment of that information and making policy recommendations has turned out to be inadequate to the complexities of transgender. In this section, I tweak his analysis in 2 ways. I attempt a taxonomy of trans people under self-identification and highlight some ways in which the expanded conception of transgender complicates the analysis of the categories. I propose an approach to decomposing the categories' implicit monolithic conception of gender that might allow us to tailor our social response to transgender's challenge to the gender ancient regime. 2A. Self-identification opens the door to non-medical transgender. The categories is implicitly transmedicalist, which is to say that its model of transgender is concerned with individuals who suffer from dysphoria, an intense dissonance between their outward or assigned gender and their internal gender orientation. Casually, these are people who are wired wrong for their bodies. Before the gender revolution of the aughts to tens, transgender was treated as a psychiatric medical condition. Self-identification was partly seen as a way of reducing barriers to treatment, whether via hormones or surgery, for people experiencing dysphoria. However, as a norm, it also effectively removed any sort of requirement of dysphoria for consideration of a person as trans. A transmedicalist framework can reject arguments like, I identify as an attack helicopter, because realistically no one is experiencing attack helicopter dysphoria. A pure self-identification framework that can't respond as effectively. With no objective criteria, overcoming this reductio absurdum is harder. The difficulty is not just theoretical, because self-identification opens the door to new classes of trans people who may see fewer net benefits from acceptance than do the dysphoric trans people centered by Scott, and who may be seen, to varying extents, as less deserving of acceptance. An attempt at a taxonomy follows. I imagine there are other terminologies. I do not use them because I don't know what they are. I am not confident that I am spanning the set of potential cases. We'll begin by more carefully drawing borders around the subcategory that originally defined the class, trans by dysphoria. The categories considers people who suffer dysphoria to the extent that it may be understood as a medical condition. Dysphoric trans are fixed in their identity and they don't oscillate or waver. Their condition is involuntary in every meaningful sense. In a society without broad acceptance of trans people, no one would choose this for themselves. As we've moved toward a society where gender is wholly determined by self-identification and publicly accepted to a greater degree, the cost of being trans is lower. In this world, some people who do not experience dysphoria may identify as trans. Non-mutually exclusive motivations may include expressive trans. Trans as a means of expressing themselves or operating socially in a manner that simply makes them comfortable. Sexual trans. Some subset of people get off on identifying as a non-birth gender, sexually, whether privately or publicly. Trans as a bit. Trans as means of getting attention, or as means of bodily critiquing gender or transgender as an idea. Are they really trans? Under self-identification, who are we to dispute it? Opportunistic trans. Trans in order to exploit social hierarchies created with the intention of helping real, in some sense, trans people. The Elizabeth Warrens of transgender. Put your gender anarchy on your asylum application to win fabulous prizes. Predatory trans. Trans is a means of evading social gender structures for the purpose of exploiting people who rely on those structures for protection. I didn't mean for this to take an entire hour. You can tell I'm breaking down a little bit. We're only half done. In a simple world with only dysphoric trans people, trans desert is straightforward and homogeneous. The costs and benefits are easy to evaluate, and Scott's prescription works well. In the post-self-identification world, matters are a hot mess. An outside observer has no easy way of identifying the subcategories for which a non-dysphoric trans person belongs. Even more, by the Self-Identification Convention, every person claiming to be trans has access to all of the categoric advantages afforded dysphoric trans people. The issue is complex, but the greatest problem is adverse selection. In creating allowances for one group of trans people, expressive trans say, we also create a means for the other groups, say predators, to misidentify themselves. And we may not be able to, or simply may not, depending on legal context, differentiate between the classes. Overall, the potential for exploitation of self-identification should be expected to sharply reduce the net social benefit of any policy handling transgender. A second substantial consideration is that different classes of trans people may approach being trans in different ways. My expectation is that the modal dysphoric trans person, say a trans woman, wants to be perceived as a woman. But some expressive or trans as a bit trans woman may want to be perceived specifically as a trans woman, by not conforming to the norms of conventional femininity. Reserving any judgment about the validity of this mode, I think it's obviously costlier to socially accommodate intentionally non-conforming transgender than it is to make room for the conforming case. 2b. Gender may be viewed as a context-specific social hack. The second shortcoming of the category is that it treats gender as all or nothing. One may be, e.g., a woman or not, and once this classification is determined by one means or another, it applies in all situations. As long as we're taking gender classification as a means to some end, rather than a purely natural category, there's no reason this needs to be the case. And in fact, there are a great number of practical problems with a gender monolith. Consider some cases. The workplace. In an office environment, gender is mostly irrelevant or vestigial. Identifying a trans man as a man in this context is a matter of social grace. There are few other costs incurred because gender doesn't really matter. For a firm, we're productive factors, not men and women. Sports. What about women's sports? What is gender here? It's not some profound internal essence. Women's sports are separate because the group of people conventionally classified as men tend to have meaningfully different development and biochemistry. And women's sports exist to allow people without those features to compete on something like a level playing field. In this case, the role of gender is to separate people into classes of has access to certain biological advantages or doesn't. Medicine. Gynecologists are doctors who specialize in the treatment of women. Practically, that means they concern themselves with organs like the uterus. They are not concerned with some essential womanness. Gender here means possession of specific organs or biochemical configurations. Prison. Criminals are housed separately on the basis of gender. Here, too, a gender essence is not important. Gender has two salient factors. First, prison is violent, and because men tend to be vastly stronger than women, housing them together would expose women to violence they would systematically be less able to resist. Second, many men in prison would systematically sexually assault women given the opportunity. The meaningful role of gender in prison is to separate a victim class from a class of people who would likely prey on them. If we insist on a unitary gender to be used in every social case where gender is leveraged, we end up in some awkward situations. Consider once more our XY CAIS case from 1B above. Shall we put a CAIS person in a men's prison because of their karyotype? If not, shall we recommend they visit a gynecologist? Both options seem ridiculous to me. Instead, we might consider decomposing gender status by social case for some or all trans people. By allowing a less global understanding of gender instead of trans X are X, we might have trans X are X by default, excepting in circumstances Y and Z. We can avoid some of the brutal edge cases where trans X are actually not X for the specific context. This isn't costless. For dysphoric people in particular, appending exceptions to their acceptance as a member of their identified gender can be expected to be rough. Excuse me for a drink of water. A final issue to note is that trans men and trans women are not the same because men and women are not the same, possibly in a clinical sense and definitely in a practical one. First, consider that gay men and lesbians differ from heterosexuals in a meaningfully opposite or asymmetrical ways despite of their commonality as gay. In a similar vein, the specific modes of transgender at play may vary across and differently within trans men and trans women. 2D, summing up. I've identified two ideas, trans heterogeneity and gender universality, that complicate the analysis of the categories in somewhat abstract terms above. To make them more tractable still, let's boil these considerations down to some choices. 1. Should identity-only trans people be categorized identically to dysphoric trans people? Doing so makes things simple, and maybe one understands self-identifications to be intrinsically valid rather than a convenience. It also invites attack from people critical of transgender full stop, and leaves the door wide open for exploitation by bad actors. Should transgender recognition be universal or conditional? A universalist model of transgender acceptance is simple to apply, but leads to failure modes that are to varying degrees inflammatory or silly. A conditional approach is potentially cumbersome, solves only some of these issues, and possibly undermines the extent to which trans people are benefited by categorization with their preferred gender. Should trans men be treated differently than trans women? Some ideological approaches to transgender or gender generally would suggest that we should not. The cases are and ought to be identical. A practical approach might demand otherwise, because many of the uses of gender that we are concerned about involve specific and asymmetrical concerns of cis men and women. In the next post, I will present a menu of policy options, their trade-offs, and some considerations that might cause one to lead toward or against each. Holy shit. All right. Those were the articles. So if you're not aware, we had the inauguration of Donald Trump last Monday. And one of the first things he did was sign an executive order saying, I really should have pulled up the exact text, but I'm really stupid, so I didn't. That was a joke. I just didn't have time. Basically, he said, for the purposes of the federal government, in all cases, sex is determined by chromosomes. Now, this will end some of the abuses of gender ideology that we're seeing, like co-ed prisons. Not a huge fan of that, I have to admit. But, like, when you're people who say, oh, well, I just care about the chromosomes, when you go down, when you're walking down the street and you talk to somebody and you want to decide whether you call that person sir or ma'am, you are not getting a sample of their genes and looking at them to see if there's an X or a Y. Like, that's not what you're doing. So when you say that's what you're doing, I don't believe you, because that makes no sense. So, like, that executive order, while it is going to end, like, it's not going to end co-ed prisons, is it? It's going to end the current mode of co-ed prisons, but then CAIS patients are going to end up in men's prisons, which I don't want that either. So, but that is probably going to happen a lot less than rapists saying, I identify as a woman now, and being put in the women's prison. So, politics is hard, and every decision you make makes some things worse. That's the thesis statement of this entire hour-long tangent. Anyway, now that that's over with, we've had our vegetables, we've had our reading. Let's play some motherfucking video games. Okay.
That was very XCOM Files.
I probably should have switched into the just chatting category to do that. Okay, in addition, I think, yeah, so there's been a little bit of a time skip. I created some new bases. We have a skeleton of a base in Australia. I call it the Bogan Zone. And one in South America called Unicorn Hill. No, that's not. That's his. Unicorn Hill. So these are just getting started. And we are very close, I think, to, if I just... Okay, we got a landed UFO. There's nothing we can really do about that. Prelude to invasion. An unprecedented increase in UFO sightings all over the globe throws some of the Council's business in disarray. As current methods of information control and obfuscation start to fail, intelligence reports various countries making contact with extraterrestrials outside of the Council's supervision, we are urged to quickly get to managing it. So here we are. The actual invasion has started. So it's time to stop fucking around. We need to get these cults out off the fucking planet and start taking the fight to the fucking aliens. But until then, we have to raid hybrid convoys. So, and hopefully that'll make us a little bit of money so we can continue running our operations. Let's load up the B team. Let's see, who we got? People, robot, and dog. Everybody is just hamburger now. But we got a couple people. Oh, we got enough people. Okay. Wait. Do we? We don't need Goro. Oh, I also noticed that the AI units can actually fly fighter planes. I didn't realize that, because dogs can't. I assumed that just meant...
XCOM Files does try to sound academic to a degree.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I mean, the people writing these, you know, in-universe, these are supposed to be intelligence reports from, you know, intelligence analysts or scientists, so it makes sense. But in any case, Craig Gibbs. Oh, these guys are out, but these guys aren't. Okay, full team. There we go. Also, we want to bring a second dog, but I don't think we do. Although, do we want to trade Petra for Sharik? I think we do, because these are hybrids. Sharik's more experienced.
The dossiers are some of the worst writing, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because they're kind of optional. I wonder if those were written by some third party. Like, not even the same person who was writing, you know, the science reports and the pop-up reports. That would make sense. Either that or he just had fewer passes on them.
Half of them were actually community-made.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you source your ideas from internet randos, you're gonna get weird decisions sometimes. So Cena still has his sniper rifle, which I don't want him having that because he's not good with it. We're gonna give him a good old-fashioned gigantic minigun. There we go. As God intended. And Hayate as well. Gigantic minigun. And Freya's got all her equipment built in. We would like a taser team, but... Yeah. Let's see, can you handle? No, you can't. Cannot handle a second
The
magazine.
author asked on the forum for input.
Oh.
Back in the day.
Ah. How long have you been following the XCOM files? Like, were you around from the start? Let's see. I kind of wish I'd brought some flares. But incendiaries are flares plus danger, so that works out fine. Actually, do I want Alan Mardon to be the guy? Actually, fuck it. Alright. It's not a problem. There we go. Ole Odinson. Okay. Oh, Ole. What is this music? Is this gonna be get me copy struck? Gosh darn it. Okay. Rifle. Oh, we need to buy more ammo. We're running out of ammo for these rifles. He gets a spray. Can he handle a kit? No. Second spray. Smoke. There you go. Welcome to XCOM. Here's your smoke.
Like 2 or 3 years after it was first published. I wasn't there when it was happening.
Oh, I see. Okay, can this guy can't even, yeah, he can't even lift the taser cannon. We've got a bunch of super experienced guys and a bunch of not experienced guys. Which, I don't know, maybe that's the ideal mix in reality.
If I recall correctly, it started in 2017.
Oh. We also appear to be out of spray. That's really bad. You know what? I turned off the setting that tried to keep the soldiers' equipment with them instead of on the plane. I think that shuffled a bunch of equipment around when I did that. So we don't have all the equipment we should, but that's fine. We can get along. Get along as we can. We can get along as we can. That's some wordsmithery right there. Millerad, I think, is ready to graduate to a minigun. Yes, he is. And Noyan isn't quite yet. So we'll leave him. Matvey. In fact, actually, Noyan, I'm gonna give him a taser cannon. That gives us even fewer people with medkits, but that's okay. Matvey still can't handle. He's strong, but he's not medkit and minigun strong. So, what can we give him? I'll give him some high explosive. No, I won't. That's silly. Honestly, there's nothing I can really give him that makes any sense. Fareed. Fareed could handle a minigun, but I'd actually rather he have a trauma pack. Kenji. I don't think I want Kenji having... Should we give Kenji? No. He's never very good in the sniper role. I guess we do need a sniper, though. Fine. You can be a sniper if you want. Casimir's. Casimir's probably should graduate to a minigun, but... Let's see, who else do we got? We got Jay. Why does Jay have such low strength? I guess I must not have put him through the biomodification. We'll take his kit and give him a minigun. Jay can keep a sniper rifle. Alright, that's everybody. There we go. And...
Why is Jay yellow?
What? You can't just ask people why they're yellow. I think he was always like that. He's also covered in blood. I never noticed that. Are those, like, supposed to be bulging veins, or is he just covered in blood? What was he doing? No one else is like that. That's pretty weird. Like, Jay is American, I think. He's supposed to be. It doesn't say. I don't know. I don't know why he's like that. That's weird.
He looks like a Lego guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well... All right, so let's not do that that way. So welcome to the Real XCOM experience. We're going to do a little one of these, and we will not get out of the plane. We'll just take care of business from up here. That's absolutely fine. We are more than capable of doing that. Okay. Cena. Of course, the people who don't have grenades are up at the front. That's always how it works. Okay. That's fine. You can just keep doing your thing. In fact, you should probably kneel. There you go. Alright, way to miss. And then what? I guess we wait for the smoke to go off. Oh, they're just gonna do it anyway. Okay. Well, that's really cool. Okay. So, how do we address this? I mean, one possible plan could be to immediately leave. That would work. Yeah, no, yeah, okay. That's something, all right. That is something. Okay. What the hell do we do about that?
There is a way.
What is the way? Tell me the way. Missed one.
Look at your squad.
I'm looking.
Maybe with night vision.
Oh, oops. Hey. Okay, hold on. Quick save. Okay, no, that's the wrong button again. No, sir. Okay, home, end. No. I completely forget. There we go. Okay. What are you trying to show me? I did see that Cena got off the plane.
The problem is, they are so close to the door.
Yeah. But, oh, okay. So I can just move them back. Okay. I see where you're going. That's good thinking. Oh, that's interesting. They can't go in that... Oh, because the dog's in the way. Let me switch off of night vision and switch back to... Oop, 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 oop. Okay, that mode. Looks a little nicer. We're trying to put on a show for the people. Move everybody back. Move everybody back. We can take out this one guy while we're here. You can have a little killing as a tree. Oh no, never mind. No, you can't. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We'll just no fun allowed. Just move everybody back. Never mind. Move. Oh, the robot. There we go. Oh yeah, no, there he is. Yeah, I see him. I see him too. Actually, can we just kill him? No, no, no. Okay. And then this other column. Doobity-doo. Everybody get back. Everybody get back in the back of the plane. I don't know where this song is supposed to go. Okay, and then from there, we can accomplish nothing, okay? How about you? Oh. Well, that guy is thoroughly annoyed, but he's not dead. I should have smoked. Shit. All right, he's giving us the Hawk Tuah. Oh, we still get blown up. Okay, well... Just one of those days, huh? Okay, that didn't work. Okay, there we go. There we go, all right. And you can have some too. There we go. And then Hayate can just get up in this guy's face, maybe? 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 No, maybe not. Okay. Maybe you should investigate whatever that was. Oh, that guy also has a rocket launcher. Never mind. Never you mind. That guy needs to die. He refused. He exploded. Why did he explode? Okay. Not going to worry about it. This guy is the guy with the taser. So, nap time. Nap time. All right. I'll have you investigate over this way, just in case there's any more people with rocket launchers just lurking in the dark. I mean, we could have just waited until day to do this mission. Oh, okay, there's a guy with an AK. That's not exactly what I was talking about, but not that far off. Certainly a lower threat level. This guy can explode. Can explode? No, he cannot explode. Never mind. Never mind on the explode. Hold that explosion. You should smoke. This message brought to you by Philip Morris. XCOM, sponsored by Philip Morris. Lucky Strike. Smooth like a cigarette should be. pretty sure this guy's a nobody, but yeah, no, I won't waste a taser round on him because I think we know that the people with the yellow pauldrons are not important. I think. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. You can't really do much no matter what you do, so I'm going to send you this way to look out this way. There's nothing out this way. Excellent. Well, nothing we've seen yet. In fact, you should drop a smoke just in case. Just in case the thing I sent you to look for is actually there, you should probably drop a smoke. Is there a snowball's chance in hell?
You can always check Ufopedia.
Oh yeah, we could do that. That sounds like work. No, we didn't get him, okay. That would have been really funny if we got him blind, but no. Does Fareed have a... No. No, he doesn't. And then we got Kenji. Can Kenji just twang the guy from the ramp? No. That would be funny, but no. Unless... ... question mark? I don't think he got hit, but his sprite changed? Does that mean something? It looks like he went turtle mode. Like the bullet whizzed past his head and he went, "Ugh." Tucked his head into his collar. Well, he's dead now. It doesn't seem to have protected him. Oh, here's the dog. Okay, we can have the dog check out that... There we go. Well, that guy is wearing red. That looks important. There we go. Triple check this guy's not gonna explode? No.
I think you hit the ground, which made it look like the sprite changed.
Oh, that's probably why, yeah. This guy's gonna blow one of my guys away with that hand cannon. I guess it's not gonna accomplish anything. Make sure to include the word away there, otherwise this is gonna be a very different game. Man, it sucks to be that guy, huh? You know, you've got all your RPG guys, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna ambush those XCOM motherfuckers as soon as they get out of that plane. And then just everyone immediately gets killed within a second. Although, okay, there's quite a bit more of them than I thought there would be. Or thought there was. Oh, Almardon's almost dead. Great. Okay, nap time. Nope, he does not want to go for go down for nap time. Can I just throw the taser cannon at his head? No. Okay. That would have been really funny. I was hoping this game operated on rule of funny, but it does not. It operates on actual game mechanics. You know, Boglarka could switch over to Blunt. Just share a blunt with the alien? Maybe. No. Okay. Well, if all he's got is that pistol... can Freya reach him? Where is Freya? Did we just leave Freya on the plane? Yes, that's exactly what we did. Okay. She can reach him. I don't want Freya getting killed. How much does this guy need? Oh, he's got one fatal wound. Okay. We can take care of that next turn. I just don't... I really don't want this hybrid just blowing him away. We can maybe get the dog in there, and the dog will send him over the threshold to sleepy time. No, the dog just killed him. Okay. Well, I kind of wanted to take that guy alive. Okay, so the hybrids are very, very fragile, is the lesson we're learning here. I guess I'll just take my chances. How much do I care? Oh, this is Alan Mardon. I do care about him. Do we have any more less than lethals? We got Nguyen. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, he can just get in there. That was probably the first thing I should have considered. There we go. Goodbye. Good night. Okay. And now let's scout out the Blue Man group over here. These guys just have pistols. That guy's got a machine pistol. You can get eaten. Nom nom nom. Delicious. Jay. Does Jay have a bead on anybody? He sure doesn't. Although, we also have people that we can't really see. Oh, we can see you now. We can see the hell out of you now. There we go. And similarly, Milorad might not have a firing line. Oh, yes he does. Yes, he does. Okay. Yeah, this game gets a whole lot easier when you have weapons that consistently hit, and when they hit, they kill. As opposed to the weapons we had earlier. Uh-huh. He just blew an entire, like, hunk out of that van. Never seen that happen. What's that green thing on the ground? Is that an item? Well, it's a dead... Yeah, it's a dead guy that was wearing green. I didn't think... I didn't think that would work. Okay. I don't want to just let this guy kill my guys. Let's just have one guy check... Just check over this way, make sure there's no surprises. And then there were also some motherfuckers over this way. And we'll have you crouch. And we'll send Kenji over this way as well. And no one can get a really good line on this guy. That's fine. Who else has time?
Vans are made of polystyrene, apparently.
Apparently. I mean, this was, just after the Malaise era. If we imagine these to be Ford vans, the construction quality was not all that high at the time. So perhaps this is less unrealistic than... I mean it is unrealistic, but... Now, I feel like people kind of overstate how crappy American cars were at that time.
You could get on their tracks too easily if those were regular vans.
Yeah? Oh. Yeah, polystyrene van is immune to radar. Which apparently radar is how we're finding all these, because we get more detections when we install the radar. Oh, Shriek's fucked up. Okay, let's get him to the robot. Okay, you need one of these, and then you're fine. And you're fine. You should get back on the plane before a mosquito bites you and you immediately die. Because you have 3 HP. And then you can go and help the dog. Help that dog. Alright. And then we'll send Olay. I don't show face, I keep my pace.
I mean, those would be homemade cars camouflaged as commercial models.
Oh. So they're made of ultra-thin alien alloys. That makes sense. Oh, and this guy's messed up. Do you just have spray? Yes, you do. You just need one. There you go. Okay. Who has time? You do. So now we're in the unenviable position of approaching an alien who we don't know exactly where where he is. How about we switch back to explosives, and then we can drop some. We can play Battleship with him instead of having to look for him the old-fashioned way. And then you two can approach this one last guy by hiding behind that van. Oh, or Cena can just turn him into hamburger. That's also valid. Okay. One more hybrid run through the cuber. Oh, it's another red guy. Goodbye, red guy. Okay. So what all did we get? We got an RPG launcher, that's cool. And we got a hybrid supervisor. That sounds important. And we also got a bunch of money. Well, it's not that much money. But it's not nothing. Okay. So let me just make sure that all of my people have enough ammo. So we need Black Ops rifle magazines. Oh yeah. Running a little low. And then this base 2. Black Ops rifle clip. Oh, they were running critically low. Okay. No wonder. And then we're also out of Milcor MGL grenades. Gotta stock up on those. Don't really need 46 mil grenades. I guess we need more spray. Oh, we're out of money. We can't buy any of this shit. Okay, well, we'll just have to do some missions. And then UFOs keep landing in Antarctica, where I can't do anything about them. That's great. I can't do anything about that. PKM. A general-purpose machine gun used by the armies of the former Warsaw Pact and many other places of the world. It turns out it's a machine gun. Who would have thought? Now we got our magazines. Let's make sure they're on the plane. Magazines. Oh, they got plenty. Okay. We'll give them a little bit more. There we go. And make sure they have all the miniguns they need, too. There we go. Okay, I don't think they need 37 units of ammunition, but okay. And we'll give them an RPG launcher, too, sure. Why not? I'll give them some dynamite. We should probably be bringing flamethrowers. We don't have flamethrower fuel. Do we have gas grenades? Yes, we do. So those should also be on the plane. Okay. Let's put the flares on the plane, too, because we could have used those in that last mission. There we go. Okay. Oh, we have spray that's not on the plane. That's the problem. We'll have 16 and 2 spare. There we go. Okay. Black Lotus Convoy. Can we get to that? I guess we could send the arrow. Oh, the arrow can't get there either. Okay, so we can't do anything about that. Never mind. We got life forms. Send the exterminators. Let's make sure they're equipped properly first. Not that base. Equip, craft, no. Exterminators. Now, do they have miniguns? Yes, they do. Okay. Again, the minigun is the standard service weapon of XCOM at this point. MIB Tritanium ammo shipment. Our intelligence team managed to locate and intercept a package meant for MIB associates. This should help undermine our enemy's reputation, and the package itself is likely to hold something useful. 100 points, Tritanium ammo supply crate. 3 of them. Alright. I think we have to research that before we can open that. Can we just queue that up? Tritanium... No? Maybe not. Okay, manufacture. Show... Unpacking, yes, okay. Wow, let's unpack this. Yikes. Wait. Let's, there. Okay. Cult infiltrating. I can't get there.
This standard issue miniguns comment reminded me of a certain anime.
Okay, well, I would like to interrupt that, but we can send the mystery machine, I guess. Yeah, they'll get there, okay. I don't know if they'll get there in time. Taser drone done. Let's go back to making taser cannons. We can open this crate. Alright. We got tritanium clips for the auto shotgun? Why? And the LMG. Okay, that's cool. Those are handy. Alien cyborgs attack Damascus. Okay, that we can actually do something about. So let's load up the B team again. Let's see, who do we have who is alive? Oh, Sigyon and Ruvsan. This is like an Ruvsan, I think. And this is probably not pronounced, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so. Hideo, there we go. Double check that we also have the ancient katana. I'll put that on the plane. Let's make sure, okay, 10 taser cannons is plenty. In fact, we should, okay, we don't need that many, okay. Rifle mags. Light cannon. Honestly, I don't think I want the light cannon anymore. But miniguns, need all those we can get. Assault LMGs, RPG launchers, incendiary for the Milcor, flare gun, flamethrower. Okay. B team, get in there. But first, the exterminators. This guy. Oh, this is John Smith, right? This is one of those special soldiers.
Allow me to remind you that the item stack can get blown up.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, if that happens, I'll just reload, realistically. Okay, he can carry an LMG. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to give this guy a sniper rifle, but I'm not doing that. I'll just give him a regular rifle. You can get stuck in like the rest of us. Oh, you can't even carry a medkit. Okay. This guy just has a dart gun. Can you handle a... No, I don't want to put the taser cannon inside the dart gun. No, you can't. Okay. You could have just said something. We'll just lay him down with a bunch of ammo. Oh, he can't even handle the freaking kit. What? How are these kits so heavy? What's in there? Is there just an entire field hospital in this freaking trauma pack? Okay, can you handle the cannon? No. Can you handle... Okay, you can at least handle a kit. And some grenades? Sure.
They kinda work that way, lol.
Oh, yeah? I guess so. Okay, I guess he'll have another fucking dart gun. We should probably have somebody who has an actual gun. We'll give you the LMG to... Oh, no, I mean, John Smith has an actual gun. You sure you can't handle a taser cannon? What happens if... He's only one over. What happens if I send him out with the taser cannon? I'm gonna try it and see. Holy shit! Okay, you're very close. You know, if I was thinking, I would have brought stun, dart rifles instead of the dart pistol. But I was not thinking. I was doing. Specifically, I was doing the wrong thing. Okay. There's a little bit more monkey madness over this way.
He gets 1 or 2 less 2 every turn.
Oh, well, that's fine. One or two, fewer 2. Okay, it doesn't look like there's many of them, but we only have 1 more shot on the actual good weapon. So let's unload. And Parker can go this way. And then John can back him up. And we found a way to make the animal extermination missions actually interesting. Because now we don't have actual decent weapons. Oh. He's just standing there, menacingly. I'm pretty sure there was another one, so... Okay. They don't seem to want to confront us. They're not very aggressive. They appear to be running away. Pretty sure the research notes said these guys were super duper aggressive. And here they are just running. They're just cheesing it. What the hell? Get over here. Get the hell back here. Well, what am I supposed to do about this? Now I don't know where he is. He's gonna sneak up on us and kill us now. There he is. There he is. Now he's okay, yep, there we go. Alright, well, we know where he is now. We can abuse saves to get close, but not too close. Holy shit, there's a million of them. Okay. Does it tell me which one is the king? Actually, John is fucked no matter what he does, isn't he? Oh no.
Fighting time travelers is hard.
Okay, well, I'm not even gonna explore this timeline, because this timeline is doomed. Oh shit, what do we do now? God damn it. Man, those dart guns just do not do anything. Okay. I think we're gonna have to go back to, not there, not there. I really wish there was just a go back to planning button. Oh, now I have to do all this again. Cyborgs that attack Damascus. Oh, now... yeah, really wish there was a just go back to planning button. Okay, there we go, okay. So now, let's try it with actual guns. That might make a difference. Just maybe. I mean, we do want to... like, it would be nice to take them live, because they're worth money. You can't handle a minigun. You want the minigun? You can't handle the minigun. I mean, is there any point in giving them spray? Because they're either unhurt or dead. I'm not gonna. We could try hitting them with knockout grenades. These don't appear to actually do anything. Alright, Parker is our designated grenadier. Aside from Han, who also has one. Oh, Han is the guy who can he can actually carry the actual taser cannon. Those were the words I meant to say. You too can carry a single knockout grenade. Okay. So this guy, nap time. There we go.
I checked, and you can tell the king apart by looking at the inventory image.
How? I'll have to spot which one is different. Or we could just knock them all out. That also works.
He looks a bit more scary.
Oh. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
You'll know when you see it.
Oh, okay. I will take your word for it. I have total faith in what you say. I would like Han to actually go and get another taser cannon. But it is too late for that. It's too late to apologize. I don't know why I even did that. They all decide to leave. I've never seen this behavior before in this mod. There we go. Where they just run away. I mean, it makes sense. It's effective AI. Effective from the AI winning standpoint. Not sure how effective it is at a helping the player have fun standpoint. There's always so many of them on these missions too. That's the thing. Are either of these the king? It doesn't appear to be. Doesn't appear to be so. I would like to get a little closer before hosing him down with the LMG. Okay. We're boxing them in. We'll save the taser round for the king if we can. Alright, he's trying to run. It's not gonna work. Let's get in there and kill. I said kill, not annoy. Well, let's try that again. Kill. Yes. Should we use the med kit to... I guess we should. He's worth money. Who has a kit? You sure don't. I guess the rest of them are over here. Who has a kit? No one has a kit. Okay, fuck it. I'm not using spray on him. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. Try to box them in. Assuming they're there, which is not a safe assumption, but it's the assumption we're operating under. You have to make some kind of assumption sometime. Let me just adjust something real quick. Hold on. Why is this the way that it is? Hold on a second. Wait a second. Hold up. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Parker Valentino. I probably should have had him go the other way, but it's too late now. You can go this way. They're not even here, are they? Oh, no, here they are. Okay, Parker is successfully fist-fighting the giant gorilla. That's cool. Oh, that was Joaquin, not Parker. Okay, neither of these are the king. So let's get out of melee. And then auto shot. Oh, almost a double. Let's finish him off. Let's finish him off. There we go. And then, are there any more? But wait, there's more. No, there isn't. Never mind. There's no more. Okay. So that was several of them. Let's look for them on autoplay. Oh, okay, we see them. But where are they? There they are. Okay. Oh, now we've lost them again. They're up here. Okay. The guys are all out of energy. Yeah, I don't know if I changed a setting. I don't think they used to behave like this. It's definitely the sneaky AI behavior. I mean, it makes sense because they don't have a ranged weapon, so they would default to get out of view. It makes sense. But it sure is annoying to play against. Oh, there they are. Is he hosed now? Possibly. Probably. We'll see. Can you at least... Oh, yeah, you can. Never mind. No, you can't. Okay, can you do this at least? Okay, well, that didn't do much, but maybe it pissed him off? Maybe? Possibly. Okay, they didn't go and... oh, they smacked the other guy. That's not what I expected to have happen, but that's... that also sucks. So let's approach more carefully. There we go. Oh my god. There's a pair of Mongorns. Who'd have thunk it? Why? God damn it. They can cross the fucking map when I don't want them to. Okay, you camp out there. And you can hang out there. Oh, no. Okay. Can't do it that way either. That's fine. Let's just get everyone in... we'll get everyone together, and then we'll just roll up on them. Rolling up on our ops. There we go. Actually, let's try these, since they're all in a little cluster there. Who's the guy who had all the... you? Use the guy. You is the guy. Yes, sir. No, he's too eepy. He's too eepy to throw a grenade. Okay. Well, we can throw hot lead. That we can throw. Maybe it'll soften him up. And again, neither of these appear to be the king. So let's not even waste taser on him. There we go. Yeah, as usual, that did absolutely nothing. God damn it. Okay, well, we'll see if the grenades he had on him do anything now. Oh, there's a third one. Okay. They do not. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, no, yeah. Okay, if you hit them with enough of them, they do eventually do something. Now we know. But we need to find out from further away. Yes. Okay. Well, now we can't even see him. I'm really wishing I had brought longer range weapons to this particular encounter. Is this the king? No. Okay, well, you can just snipe at him from... no, you can't. I'm not sure what we can do about him, actually. I think we're just going to stand here and let him do his thing, honestly. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are in a standoff with the Mongorns. Okay, well, that's not working. And now that we approach, they're all going to pop out and kill us. Is what I expect to have happen. Yes? No? Okay. They're still hiding. They're being sneaky beaky about it. That's fine. I can deal with that. Now they pop out and kill us. Right? No. Okay. This game keeps you on your toes. Okay, well, there's one. We can't really hit him. Parker is the guy with the grenades. Make sure everybody's in the same spot so they can cover each other with their reaction fire. Okay, he is going for us. And that didn't go well for him. And fuck. Okay, well, this is some goddamn bullshit. Okay, we will stand further away. God damn it. I don't know if there's some kind of mastery of the game mechanics that I don't have that I should be leveraging here, but this kind of seems like a bullshit situation. Okay, we got lucky that time. This guy's bleeding. He's going to be doing a lot more than bleeding in a second. There we go. This is also not the king here. And we can't hit him. Great. It's not like he's a small target. But okay. How many of these stunners can Parker throw in the time allotted? 1, 2, 2. 2 stun grenades. Okay, I guess we can have Joachim. Actually, does Joachim have? No. Joachim does not have. And then Han can just stand there and look pretty. Oh, that we got him. Okay. I mean, he's bleeding rather than just knocked out, so it's not clear how much good that'll do us. And we heard motion, but we do not see Monkey. Explain this. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. So where did he go? There he did go. Assuming that's the same guy. Which again, is not a safe assumption. You should actually reload instead of just standing there with your mag in your hand. Mm-hmm. Just 3 grown, trained paramilitary soldiers chasing a giant ape around the forest. Or this appears to be some kind of taiga.
If you think this is bad, imagine what it would be like if they had camouflage.
I think it kind of seems like they might. Because this is a day mission and we can't see him. Where the fuck is he now? Yeah, I think they do have fucking camo. I don't know if the engine supports camo I don't think it does. Supports camo working differently on different maps, but I mean, we are on a snow level and they have white fur. It's like chess. You just gotta. You just shot your buddy in the back. God damn it. Well, go and fix him. Oh, you can't. Cripes. I think I let John have the only spray. So he can just throw that. There we go. He only needs 2. Actually, you should probably throw it back to him. At least we all got to look cool. Oh, never mind, because he ran out of time. Okay, I don't want that guy sneaking up on us. Where is he? He's here now. Right. And then Parker Old fratricidal Parker over here. I don't... I didn't see any Mongorn that looks different. Does this group just not have a king? Mm-hmm. 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 Sure do miss those miniguns. Really missing those. Okay. You can throw this back to John. Okay, you can throw it way over his head. That's fine. And then everyone gets killed? No. Oh! Okay, he went nap time. So... Ah, they're down there. There's a lot of them. We're gonna run out of ammo, are we? You're on your second mag. You aren't. Yeah, he's empty. Nearly. Okay, we'll get him more ammo then. Then we'll go on south. Go on down south, London town. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Watch that me going do 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 get copyright claimed. That would be funny. That's the sort of thing. The sort of thing? That's the sort of thing that would be worth it just to see. Just to have the story to tell. To tell. Wow. I am all talked out. Okay, there we go.
Have you checked that last one's inventory image?
I didn't get a look at it. Is the problem there. But we'll see him again in a second.
The last dead one.
Oh, I think I did, yeah. You look the same as all the others. That also just looks normal.
All right.
God damn it. You know, it occurs to me, actually, I had a little brainwave just now. I wonder if we could feed previous chat history into the TTS model, into the, like, not into the part that gets read out, but as context. Maybe.
Are you sure it's the special mission with the king?
Oh, it probably isn't, so it... I just assumed they always do have a king, but I don't think there's anything special about this mission. Like, this is just regular environmental alert. So maybe it isn't. Okay, now my guys are all tired from running up to him. So we'll just give him a little break. I like how when we shoot at him, he turns to go, hey, what the fuck?
It would have to be a specifically announced mission.
Oh. Are you sure? 'Cause I'm pretty sure I've already gotten a Mongorn King. Or if not on stream, then I have when I was... My neighbors are upstairs stomping. No, I was just playing ahead off stream. I'm pretty sure I saw a Mongorn King.
These are all basic Mongorns.
Alright. Meanwhile, this one's just getting away. Now we're in the exact same situation we were in before. Except this time there's only one of them. Okay, we'll give our guys a second to rest. Okay, where? There he is, okay. It is cool that the AI simulates... Like, the AI doesn't magically know where you are, like AI in a lot of games does. Yeah, that guy doesn't look special either, so... Since we're close, we can tase him. I said since we're... Okay, never mind, never mind. Never mind. That's what I get for trying to do it right. Just hose him down. Okay. There's one last one. I don't know if the autoplay, when it's bug hunt mode... Does the autoplay know? It seems to. It looks like it's going right for him. I will drink my water while the autoplay runs. And my trainer at the gym told me to imbibe a protein beverage, so I will do that also. Oh, there we go.
Are these the brutal Mongorns?
They're using brutal AI. Just Mongorn. Regular Mongorn. I don't know. Should I sell these? I guess. It's not worth much. Our intelligence managed to intercept a police report mentioning a heavily ill, aggressive individual attacking citizens of a small town near Darwin. Upon further investigation, we identified the person as a victim of a zombie parasite. The council executives convinced local authorities to hand over the infected. And free zombie. Yay. We don't need that. I guess we can sell him. Yay. Yeah, see, I have a Mongorn King. So how did that happen? I don't know. I hit cancel instead of confirm. I don't know. Alright. Now this is going to be some bullshit right here.
I remember the base AI Mongorns behaved very similarly to this.
Oh. Okay. That's disturbing. Oh, and this is another fucking night mission. So we'll give this guy a couple flares. I don't really want these guys alive. Maybe I do. I guess we'll bring one. We'll bring one. I mean, these guys are pretty tough. Do we? No, we don't have tritanium. Never mind. Right. We're all out. We used up the last of it on the, hitting the Red Dawn base. Red Dawn HQ. You can upgrade to a, if I can get to it, a minigun. There you go. Spray? Yes. Okay. Can he handle? I think I'd rather he have like an LMG or something. He can't even really handle that. Okay, just take a regular rifle then. Criminy. Take some ammo too. You should also take spare ammo. Yeah, I think that's everybody there right now. Okay, don't see any yet. I'm sure that'll change. Get Freya out on the board. Oh, there's one. Okay, they're not wearing their human suits. So it seemed like when they were in human suit mode, they, like the human suit could absorb infinite damage. Like however much you throw at them at once, it can't kill them, it just kills the jarhead in suit, and then the jarhead has to come out, and then you have to kill that. So can Boglarka? Yes, she can. Boglarka can. Kinda. Sometimes. Sometimes she can. Often she cannot. I would go as far as to say usually. Usually she cannot. Today she can. In this one moment. It's called garbage can, not garbage cannot.
That's the only way it can work, as far as I know.
Yeah. It's just an engine limitation.
You can't change armor.
Yeah. I wonder if we can wallbang this guy. Nope. No, we can't. It was worth a shot. Yeah, let's get Kenji out on the board here. Oh, he can actually... Okay. Shoot your shot, my man. Okay. Well, that was a total waste of everybody's time. Okay, he's angry now. He's an angry man. There goes Jay. Maybe I shouldn't be just lining all my guys up, but that's how it's working out. So, whatever. Let's just hope it doesn't bite us in the ass too much. Hope is not a valid strategy, but it's the strategy I got. Alright, hope worked. Excellent. Yeah, luckily these guys can't aim for shit. They probably can't see us well through the smoke. Well, now I can't continue grenading that guy because there's a civilian stand next to him with a pickaxe. Someone just got attacked by aggressive wind chimes. That's interesting. And I noticed that I didn't bring a dog on this one. There you are. Oh, never mind. Oops, never mind. Sorry. Okay. Who has a minigun and can get there in time? Matvey? It's all up to you. Get him. There we go. There's a bunch of them over here, so let's send people over that way. Does Cena have? No, he doesn't. No, he does not. No, he does not. Jay's good where he is. Sigyeon can't move. What can you do? What would you do for Klondike Bar? This might be a bad idea, but it's the idea we're going with. I mean, there's no reason we can't just drop a grenade on top of the civilian, but I don't really want to. Let's at least try to pretend that we care about civilian casualties. Did that accomplish anything? Not really. Not really. Okay, well. I don't want Mealred to get so far up that he just gets killed. But I do want him to get far off. You know what I mean. No, you don't. Why would you know what I mean? I want him to get far up enough that he can get the guy next turn, but not so far up that he just gets killed. That's what I'm trying to say. These are the words that are coming out of my mouth. Let's extend the smoke screen a little bit. Hideo can also move up. I'm really worried. I'm concerned about them coming from up here. There's an open door. Okay, so we're going to metagame a little here. If there's an open door, we know there's an alien. Or a civilian. But I don't see a civilian. So there's probably an alien. Olay is kind of useless, honestly. If you're the one guy who doesn't have a minigun, you're at a pretty massive disadvantage. Can you get here? Kinda. Just cheese it over that way. Who's this guy? Jay. Jay's good where he is, okay. And Kenji. We don't want to forget about Kenji. Let him hide in this smoke. In fact, I'll have him run a little further out and then drop this one. There we go. There's a bunch of them over this way. Okay, he just went into that building. Alright, the wind chimes of evil are back. It's interesting. I don't think I know what the wind chimes are. Someone in there has a gun. Oh, there's an NPC dog. Okay. So we got brainy boys over this way. Well, we could try and get Nguyen in there to just tase the guy. There he is. Nap time? Question mark? Oh yeah, okay. I'm not sure how much these guys are really worth, but... And then... From there... Oh, there's a bunch of them is the thing. Okay, we'll take care of the closest one. There we go. We'll have Ivan at least take a shot at it. So he can feel like he contributed. Okay. Do you feel like you contributed? Because you didn't. You definitely didn't. Okay. We can have Fareed try the same thing.
Would be funny if killing them had a chance to spawn a mutilated variant that kept crawling towards you.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be a Terminator reference. That is what happened at towards the end of Terminator. Twould be amusing. I would rather have Hideo going after the known Jarheads rather than the theoretical Jarheads over there, so we'll have him run over this way. And then Cena, there are very much non-hypothetical Jarheads right here. That's too close. And does he have a line of sight? Yes, he does. Okay. We'll have Olay, because he can't do much. Oh, okay, that was just an NPC. No, that's the... No, yeah, okay, that door was just an NPC, so there's probably no Jarheads over this way. Now, we know... I don't really want this guy out in the open, but Milorad already is, so... Just try hosing him down, I guess. You know. Well, you got him once. Can Boglarka chip in at all? I'm still worried about what's going on down here. I don't know whose idea it was to send this guy alone. Hold on. Have Casimir's follow up. There we go. Okay, so one of those signatures we detected was actually a cop. So that's cool.
Some of the civilians could be Jarheads in disguise.
Oh! Is that so? All right. Well, what are they gonna do if that's the case? Because they're unarmed. Mm-hmm. That's what that does. Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll have Matvey also. Well, let's see. What can Mr. Popoff do? You can pop off over this way. No. Okay, not quite. Hold on. We can salvage this. Let's see, he needs 27 to fire his gun. That gives him 29. This may not actually be effective. Okay, well that definitely hurt him, but it didn't kill him. And now I'm looking...
they could be in this mission, actually.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's paranoia for another time. It's fine by me. Yeah, man, when the sniper is useful, they're really useful, but often they are not useful.
I meant they could if you were actually in that situation.
Oh. Is he gonna... Oh, no. Doesn't have time. I got no time. Okay. Kind of feels like we got most of them by now. Possibly famous last words. But I need to see the guy. There we go. Okay, now you're safe. That's cool. Now we have eyes on him. So what can we do about that? Does Kenji have line of sight? Of course, he never does. Not once has he ever had line of sight to anything. Okay, Boglark is out. So that's that. Is it possible we can get him through the wall? No. No, it's not. Okay. Well, maybe. Hold on. No. Okay. So I don't know what they make these walls out of, but it's stronger than whatever we got. However, Noyan has just enough time to miss. All right. Great job. I'm gonna reload that. That was really dumb. Okay. So what do we do? What do we do about this? I guess we could just keep shooting at the wall. No, that's not a good idea. Ah. Oh. Never mind. For a second, I thought I had a possibility. But no. I did not. But Hideo might. Oh no, he's going to be out of time too. Yeah. It's kind of obnoxious how that works. Matvey. Is Matvey gonna save the day again? Probably not. Maybe. Maybe. No? No. Okay. Would have been cool, but no. No, you can't get a beat on him either. Kenji can't either. Right, Kazmir's has his own problems down here. So, let's see. Okay, there's that guy. R.I.P. that guy. Okay, was that the only one? I guess. Possibly. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Jay is still not going to contribute. That's fine. Now, Cena is a million miles away from everybody else. Freya is... Let's move her up so she can possibly actually help people. Olay is gonna run towards the battle that he cannot meaningfully participate in. Okay, and that's that. Luckily, they still can't aim. Okay, what's happening now? You're out of energy. Let's get you into cover, so you're actually safe. There we go. Okay, now we have lost sight of him. Have Farid run and look. Where the hell did he go? Where did he go? There. There he did go. Okay. Well, don't chase him. And there's also one over here. So let's send the sniper to go and maybe deal with him. If you can see him. Which you can't. Can Boglarka get a grenade on him? Probably not. Definitely not. Okay, never mind. We'll have Milrod back up Kenji. Not 100% certain what to do about this guy. We could have Noyan... I guess we could have Noyan run in and try to tase him again. That'd be funny. I don't know if it would be effective, but it would be amusing. Matvey over here. Ivan. Because I think... Are we just down to 2 of them? Possibly. No, they still can't aim. Oh, and he fell asleep of his own accord. That's interesting. Okay, let's carry you somewhere where we can keep an keep an eye on you. Because when they spontaneously fall asleep, that makes me think they're going to get back up pretty soon. And of course, all right. Have Milrad show you how it's done. Never mind. Okay. In fact, let's just get you right back into cover. There we go. We can at least throw a flare at the guy. So we can at least see. There we go. We can have Hideo go over here. Does he have line of sight? No. It's always amusing how in the XCOM universe, average people can just jump off of the tops of buildings and be fine. Oh, now where is he? Now we have to send someone in there to go and look. Where did he go? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And we got 4 minigunners closing on him. So he's probably not doing so hot. Why did that guy spontaneously not pass out? Was it smoke? I guess it could have been. It must have been. That's the only explanation I can think of. Where the fuck did this guy go? God damn it. Again. Again with this bullshit. I'm gonna just wait for him to come out. He's probably just in the back room somewhere. In fact... It's a matter... There he is. Oh, there we go. Alright, we win. So only 1 civilian killed. Got us a pretty good rating. I don't think we need any spare jarhead terrorists, so we can just sell them. I don't care about police ID card. Alright. Master of Milcor MGL. Master of Black Ops Minigun. Okay. Let's go for another 15 minutes and then we'll call it for tonight. Oh! We finished the Black Lotus side generator. This strange device was installed within the Avatar statue at the Black Lotus main base. Its purpose is to receive and amplify psionic waves coming from some location in outer space and enable the possession of humans by the cult's goddess. While we cannot say we truly understand its principles of operation, we can theoretically use it to locate such psionic wavefronts. If we manage to do so, this will effectively disable the Black Lotus as an organization, since they will not be able to contact their mistress without us knowing about it immediately. We can now research Terminate the Black Lotus. I kind of want to do that Let's see, I want to do that as fast as I can. Because... a working mind is not everything. It must be properly connected to the body. With new ways to wire up the AI unit to the machinery it is supposed to inhabit, we can make said machinery more complex and sophisticated. This opens up a whole new world of possibilities for AI chassis types and other robotic devices. Okay, so we will put all of these guys on the project of terminating the Black Lotus, because I do want to try and get that done as fast as possible, because I know from playing ahead that they are about to build the Golden Academy, and I know that that plays into plot lines later on, so I feel like I should avoid them building that. Although maybe, it seems like terminating them doesn't make that go away. Maybe I was just looking through the files, but I may just be wrong. Okay, cult infiltration. I actually didn't expect them to get to this. You cannot handle... maybe? If we take everything else away... no, you still can't. Although... he's only a little bit over. And then no one else can definitely handle the minigun. So we'll give you spray, and a spare spray, and a grenade, and a spare grenade. We got the dog, and we got no moolah. We got no moolah, that's for sure. Okay, let's run with this. Oh, and immediately there's all manner of bullshit. The dog can run and just eat you. What do you mean there's no one there? There's clearly someone there. Okay. Okay. Now there's someone there. Can the dog get a double? No. Don't get greedy. But you can get minigunned. There we go. And let's check out anyone. No, no one down here, so we can advance that way. And be relatively safe. Okay. Oh, there's one. I don't know why we're confronting them in the middle of the street in broad daylight like this. Doesn't seem like our or the Black Lotus's style. But what do I know? I just work here. Uh-huh. Put grenade sniping to work for us, once again. Well, I don't want the dog to run up to him now that I threw a grenade at him. That would be bad. Oh, there we go. Okay, where's the rest of them? Okay. Well, they're in here. Okay, what's this guy got? He's just got a probe. Or a probe? A prod. Stick with the prod, prod with the prod. Okay. And then you can follow that up. And you can follow him up. And you can go this way. Mm-hmm. Have another sniff. Or can we? Can we? Can we indeed? Okay, he's over this way. Can we just get our minigunner to, Nope. I wish there was a way to tell ahead of time which walls are super tough and which aren't. It's a little bit obnoxious. I think that's the last guy. I can just put this on auto. Of course, the auto immediately forgets where the guy is. Okay, this isn't helping. Hold on. Wait. Did we see him for a second? No? Okay, don't really want him to go that far ahead. He's still in there. Not certain how to get to him. Let's just check this room, even though we're pretty sure there's no one in here. I would like to make completely sure that there's no one in there. There was not, in fact, anyone in there. Where is he now? He's in the trash can. Of course. No. What the fuck? Oh, he must be on the second floor. That's the problem. Okay. How can we get to the second floor? Can we get to the second floor? Kinda. I don't know who lays out a building this way. This is a little strange. Well, we found him. There he is. Okay, the mission did not end. Cora's got 4 turns to live, by my reckoning. So now we're in a hurry. Who has Craig? Well, Craig is the guy I just sent ahead, of course. And Nomula has... Nomula has Nomula, but she does have a medkit. Use medical device, heal. There we go. And the guy is not, in fact, in here, so... Okay. So what do we do now? Keep sniffing? Nothing. Okay. Well, they're around here somewhere. This is kind of a weird mission. I feel like I was supposed to get this, like, way long ago. This feels like a beginning mission, not, this deep in the game mission. Wonder why he's not surrendering. I guess like, there aren't enough people on the map for us to get their morale down. Yep. They're around here somewhere. Yep. Ain't found them yet. What's really funny is that the viewers counter keeps going up. So people are coming in and be like, "Oh man, what's this? This is a mod for XCOM? Oh man, what's it about?" And then they come in and see this. Usually it's more action-packed. But we're on a particularly slow mission right now. Oh, now we're in bug hunt mode. So where is he? Okay, the AI is converging on the guy. I think. No, they're not. Where the hell is he? Okay, let's turn off autoplay. Oh, we found him. All right. There he is. What does he have? Does he have a gun? He does. Everyone's way too far away to do anything. I'm gonna be really annoyed if he kills the dog. Okay, never mind. I'm really annoyed now. Snuggler. Okay, let's approach more carefully. There we go. There we go. Hello. How you doing? Get your face eaten off. Goodbye. All right. Sell all this crap. Okay. Well, I think we'll call it there for tonight. For all the people who are new here, I would really appreciate if you gave the channel a follow so you can see more gameplay like this. And I would be very happy to see you again next time. But until then, let us look on Twitch to see who we can raid. What do we got? What do we got? Let's go with... Oh, there's Avac. And that would be cool. Let's raid him. Okay. Raiding Avac. That's a guy I used to watch years and years and years ago. I didn't even know he started streaming. Raid AAVAK. All right. Have fun with Avac. I will see you all next time.
File your taxes 100%.
File your taxes with TurboTax. No, thank you. Raid now. There we go. Get in there.